Starlight Glimmer ran her anti-Cutie Mark cult until the main six busted her for it. Later, she got revenge by going back in time and preventing the rain boom, keeping the main six from ever meeting. But we never seem to talk about what Starlight was doing between those two events. I'm here to change that, because something tells me she was up to a lot more than we thought. Starlight's village was her life's purpose, so it's no surprise she wanted revenge on the ponies who took it all away from her. After escaping into the caves, she had nothing left to focus on but revenge. Starlight didn't know how, but she was gonna ruin the main six's lives. However, in order to do so, she had to learn about the main six, thus beginning Starlight's research phase. We actually saw a bit of this in person. Starlight was seen spying on Twilight when she was getting dinner with her old Canterlot friends. You can see her hiding behind a menu. The next time we saw her spying was much more consequential. When Twilight was trying to recreate Discord's inside jokes with the rest of the main six, Pinkie suggested time travel. Twilight firmly shut her down, declaring that time travel is not something to be messed with. And right after she said this, lo and behold, we see that Starlight had been watching from the bushes that whole time. She witnessed Twilight's rebuke of time travel. Of course, we know Twilight's previous experience with time travel, but Starlight didn't. Without that context, Twilight's rebuke looked entirely different to her. She saw a pony with a comfortable past, worried that time travel would jeopardize it. I think this is the moment that inspired Starlight to shift her focus. Before this, Starlight was probably looking for ways to destroy their friendship in real time, and probably realized that's a lot easier said than done. So seeing Twilight's fear of time travel was an epiphany for her. If she couldn't take away their future, she'd take away their past. Starlight found Star Swirl's spell and altered it to suit her needs, but the problem still remained. Without knowing the main six well enough, she didn't know what in the past to change. So she kept spying, until on that fateful day, she snuck into Celestia's school where Twilight gave a lecture, spelling out in detail the one event tied to their destinies. Jackpot. All the pieces were in place. Starlight was finally ready for her revenge. And sure enough, minutes later, she executed the plan. The rest is literally history. But these 3 instances of spying, they're just the ones we know about. I guarantee there were others. For example, Starlight was already familiar with the map and how it was connected to all of Equestria. That knowledge was a crucial part of her plan, so it wasn't just a last-second discovery. With everything she knew, it makes me wonder how much time she spent searching for info. And more importantly, to what lengths she went. Because there's evidence she went a lot further than just sneaking around. Earlier in Starlight's research phase, Apple Bloom had a suspicious dream. She kept getting different cutie marks and running into all sorts of trouble. At the end of each segment, she'd talk with a mysterious voice in the woods. The voice would vilify cutie marks and have Apple Blooms removed. Sound familiar? It's later revealed by Princess Luna that the voice was Apple Bloom's shadow and that she was doing everything to herself the whole time. In some respects, I can see that, but something fishy is going on here. Listen to some of the shadow's lines. Why should you have to keep it? If your cutie mark bothers you so much, get rid of it. And later, more trouble with cutie marks? Sounds to me like cutie marks and trouble are 2 peas in the same pod. Isn't it awfully strange that Apple Bloom's shadow conveniently doubles as an anti-cutie mark propagandist? Throughout the course of the dream, Apple Bloom becomes increasingly disillusioned by cutie marks, but the shadow was against them from the beginning. So confident in its statements, not just against bad cutie marks, but cutie marks in general. I mean, maybe this was all just Apple Bloom's subconscious, but what if something more sinister is going on here? What if Starlight Glimmer was manipulating Apple Bloom's dream? This shadow just reeks of Starlight. Even the music that plays when it speaks is eerily similar to Starlight's villain theme.
Sweetie Belle! Scootaloo! Come on, Phillies, this isn't...
Maybe I can help you get through the course this time.
Well, I I sure could.
Could she be the one behind the shadow? Starlight is a highly capable sorceress with many impossible seeming accomplishments under her horn. It's no stretch to the imagination that she'd be able to influence the dream realm. Probably not to the same extent Luna can, but likely enough to get her voice out there. Enough to hijack Apple Bloom's dream and spread her propaganda by puppeting the shadow character. This is almost definitely something Starlight could do, but would she do it? I mean, yeah, it's just like her to invade others' privacy for her own gain, but at this point in Starlight's life, she was focused on revenge, not recruiting new members. Or was she? We already know she did a bit of both. Even during the enacting of the revenge itself, Starlight took the time to indoctrinate young, vulnerable minds where she saw the opportunity. If not her main goal, it sure was a bonus. And the same goes for Apple Bloom's dream. Starlight didn't go to the dream realm to proselytize, she was already there for another reason: to find answers. This was all part of her research phase, peering into the dreams of the main six and those around them so she could learn all about their greatest hopes and fears. But just like with Fluttershy and the bullies, if Starlight had the opportunity to spread her message at the same time, she'd take it. Mistreat, manipulate, Mare Boss. So what I think might have happened is one night in the dream realm, she noticed Applejack's sister having a bad cutie mark dream and just couldn't help herself. Now, to be clear, the shadow wasn't completely like Starlight. For the third and final interaction, it wasn't speaking or acting like Starlight at all. At first, this might seem like a problem for this theory, but there's actually a simple explanation for this. After the first two interactions, Starlight fled the scene. She wouldn't want to stick around too long and risk getting caught by Princess Luna. Besides, her work had already been done. Apple Bloom started the dream with a positive opinion of cutie marks in general, but after the second interaction, she was saying, "I don't want to see another cutie mark as long as I live." That's the mindset of some pony ready to join an anti-cutie mark cult. So with Starlight's mission accomplished, she stopped puppeting the shadow and left the dream. This marks a noticeable change in the physical behavior of the shadow as well. When it's talking like Starlight, the shadow moves around with its own agency, unattached to Apple Bloom. But by the third encounter, it was firmly in place like a real shadow, more mimicking Apple Bloom than acting of its own free will. Starlight may have been there to kick things off, but by the time Luna entered the dream, there was no trace of her. Maximum sneaky. So it all still works out. As it happens, Starlight dreamwalking fits perfectly in the broader timeline as well. Apple Bloom's dream occurs soon after Starlight got busted and well before the first time we saw her spying. It makes sense that Starlight would want to scope out the dream realm first, where raw, honest emotions are more accessible than in the real world. It's the best place to research what would hurt the main six most. The moment she discovered that the best way to destroy them is to destroy their friendship, the dream realm was no longer of use. She switched to the real world, where the hard facts of how to meet her goal would be more accessible. We finally have a full picture of Starlight's life between the village and the revenge. In review, after getting busted, Starlight set her focus on researching the main six. She started by looking into their dreams to see what drives them, and since Starlight is opportunistic, when Apple Bloom had a bad cutie mark dream, she used it to promote her cause. Once she learned that the main six's friendship is what's most important to them, she started looking in the real world for ways to tear their friendship apart. Though she had trouble doing so and hit a wall until Twilight gave her the time travel idea. Finally, once Starlight discovered everything she needed to pull that off, she enacted her revenge. All of this lines up perfectly with Starlight's timeline, her behavior, her motivations, and presumably her abilities. But of course, there's always the chance that it's all just a crazy coincidence. So what do you think? Am I right about Starlight's research phase? Did she invade Apple Bloom's dream? Why or why not? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, like the video. And if you want to see more, subscribe and ring the bell. If you want to support this channel financially, check out my perks at patreon.com/sawtoothwaves. And thank you so much to everyone who already has, especially my Alicorn tier patrons. The Nameless One, Equinox3141, Cameo Shadowness, Darth Sylar 12, Solar Scripture, Petrolhead02, Princess Starglow, Grim Eclipse, Torn, Crimson Moon, Colorshine, and this video's Alicorn of the Week, Cyanax. Congrats, and thanks again for everyone's support. Y'all help make this channel possible. I'm Sawtooth Waves signing out until Friday after next. Brohoof.